This Tuesday morning, the campaign announcement from actress Cynthia Nixon is on the front page of a couple of the papers this morning. They used the familiar Sex and the City pink font this morning on the front page of AM New York, and they had some fun with the characters from Sex and the City. They wonder if there was a Miranda Hobbs administration in Albany, who would be the key members of her government. Carrie Bradshaw assigned to be chief of staff in this scenario. The Daily News says this is the Miranda warning to Governor Cuomo, noting that in Cynthia Nixon's 2-minute campaign video, she took clear aim at Governor Cuomo without actually mentioning him by name. A column from New York One's Errol Lewis on the left side of the page, reminding us of another TV celebrity who wanted to run for office. He says, in light of Donald Trump's experience in Washington, Nixon will need to show a detailed knowledge of how government works and why she should be in charge of it. Other stories in the Daily News to page 6, a helicopter crash follow-up story. We're now learning the pilot was wearing less restrictive safety gear than the passengers who were trapped. 2 stories about Harvey Weinstein on page 3. The Weinstein Company really has now filed for bankruptcy. And Governor Cuomo turned up the pressure on Cy Vance over the way his office has handled allegations against Weinstein. Firefighter Keith Young was known for winning televised cooking challenges. He has died at the age of 53, his death linked to his exposure to toxins at the World Trade Center site after September 11th. Back in the news today, Donald Trump Jr., the Post quoting sources who say he was so taken with Celebrity Apprentice contestant Aubrey O'Day that he intended to leave his wife in 2011. Vanessa Trump was pregnant with their 3rd child at the time. One source says this affair ended when Donald Trump Sr. stepped in and told Trump Jr. to knock it off. A new Monmouth University poll shows a lot of Americans are paranoid. 82% of people think the government spies on their every move. What's it going to take to replace Toys R Us for consumers? The Post says an investor is trying to resuscitate the KB Toys brand with a plan of having stores open in malls by Thanksgiving. Here's a fitness story about the simplicity of the gliding disc. Gliders take up almost no space in your apartment, yet the Post says they are a simple shortcut to a toned body. Nice picture in the sports section showing the Mets Fab Five. They may actually be in the starting rotation together for the first time this season. Left to right, Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, Steven Matz, and Zach Wheeler. Still with baseball, the Tabloids having a lot of fun this morning with the prospect of a Yankees-Red Sox game in London. The Post says we could give it the Bronx Cheerio. We got Aaron Judge in a Bobby hat there. Judge and Louis said.
Okay,
2 games in the regular season.
this is looking out of the window of 255 West 43rd Street at the Twins Chimneys belonging to John's Pizzeria. It's 8:45 a.m. in the morning.
The opening sentence says, it seems Staten Island Chuck was asleep at the switch when he predicted an early spring.
Okay, it's March 20th, 8:46 a.m. Okay, let's look at the time date stamp. Well, it's not a stamp, but the time date box on the Bloomberg I've got Spectrum, it's channel 30. This is looking north and direction west, 30 degrees. And here's here's my apartment. So that's looking west. The Intercontinental, whatever, hotel, whatever, and then, okay, here going back to my apartment.
Without a lot of success, is that correct?
We have been discussing China. We have been discussing, of course, the recent U.S. measures. And as Europeans, we have reiterated that we speak with one voice, and we want to avoid any trade friction. And we want to find a solution, both through issues with the U.S. and possible issues with China.
Is there a solution?
There's always a solution. There are many solutions. Of course, the question is which one generates the best outcome and over which time horizon.
It's you see, it says 8:49 a.m. March 20th, and this is live Bloomberg interview with the finance minister of Italy.
To form?
Well, it depends whether this time needed to form the government leads in a clear direction, and there is an implicit assumption that what has been gained in terms of higher growth, sounder public finance, and confidence is maintained.
Well, are you optimistic that those conditions will continue?
I'm moderately optimistic, yes.
Moderately doesn't sound like a strong endorsement.
Well, I'm moderately optimistic because I'm still an acting finance minister, and finance ministers have to be prudent, whatever they say.
What do you think your Democratic Party will do? Could it back the center-right or five-star?
The Democratic Party is at the opposition, and I think the Democratic Party should take seriously the issue of understanding what went wrong, why the party was defeated in spite of the very good job done, if I may say so, over the past legislature. The legislature is ending now.
Well, do you have a preference?
I have a preference for policies that preserve and reinforce actions taken in the past 3 to 4 years.
Well, are any of the possible governments unacceptable?
At this stage, I cannot say something on that.
At this point, do you see anybody who would particularly carry on the work of the Democratic Party?
In individual terms?
In individual terms or party terms?
Party terms, I think that the Democratic Party is starting to have a deep down discussion.
8:51, our picture of the day. These two would greet you when you got home from work if you've been in Brooklyn on their street.
I love the way they're tied together.
Hashtag NY1Pick if you would like to share your picture with us. We will pick one every day here for picture of the day. Jamie.
Yes, we have a good update here. 4, 5, and 6 train service has resumed with extensive delays. They are going to bypass 125th Street, but the investigation is wrapping up and things are moving again.
I can't imagine that's a quick return to regular service.
No.
A lot of
but at
trains.
least it is happening.
A lot of trains backed up, but it's an easier time if you're on the 4, 5, or 6.
Oh yeah, definitely tough for a lot of commuters out there. It's going to be a tough go come tomorrow because we do have snow in the forecast for the start of spring, which officially, by the way, arrives this afternoon at 12:15 to be exact. So increasing clouds throughout the day, and then it looks like there is a slight chance of a few sprinkles or light snowflakes later on today, but the bulk of it happening tomorrow morning, lasting through until Wednesday night. That winter storm warning will be in effect from midnight tonight, lasting through early Thursday morning at 8. 3 to 8 inches possible. Some areas will get as little as 3, like Manhattan, the Bronx, even upwards of Staten Island. Other areas may get up to 8 inches. And there is that system that we're tracking. Looks like mostly rain right now, but as it collides into this colder air mass, remember we have that big dip in that jet stream that's allowing for that cold air from Canada to seep in, and that's going to provide us with that added instability. Look at this. Things have changed quite a bit. We were seeing a greater chance early tomorrow morning at around 6 a.m. It looks like close to around 7 a.m. is when we'll...
Okay, it's getting a little cold in the room. I'm going to shut the windows.